You see the tears falling, but you just turn away. I scream your
The microphone is cold in her shaking hand. Leela stands frozen beneath the blinding chandeliers, her pregnant belly pressed against the silky emerald gown Camilla's bridesmaids forced her into. Hundreds of eyes stare at her, curious, judgmental, hungry for gossip. The wedding hall is silent, except for the faint ringing in her ears. And right in front of her, seated like a king overseeing a spectacle he orchestrated, her ex-husband Adrian watches her with a smile too polished, too rehearsed, too cruel. "Sing," he says into the mic at his table, his voice echoing across the hall like a command, not a request. Guests laugh lightly, unsure if it's a joke or entertainment. Lila's throat tightens. Her heart is pounding so violently she feels it in her fingertips. This wasn't supposed to happen. She came here only to return something Adrian's assistant begged her to bring, nothing more. She wasn't invited. She wasn't welcome. Yet here she is, standing on a stage under a spotlight, holding a microphone Adrian shoved into her hands. Camilla, Adrian's new bride, sits beside him in her icy white gown, hand draped over his arm in a perfect pose of victory. Her lips curl into a satisfied smirk. Leela tries to speak, but air clogs her lungs. The soft instrumental music begins playing behind her, and something inside her cracks open. Adrian wants to humiliate her. He wants to break her. And he chose his wedding day to do it. The baby kicks inside her, sharp and anxious. Leela places a protective hand over her stomach, and Camilla's smirk falters for a moment. The guests whisper, "Is that his ex-wife? And pregnant? Oh God, this is messy." The music swells. Adrian raises his glass toward her mockingly. "Leela," he says, voice amplified for the entire hall, "you always said singing was your purpose. Show everyone what made me fall in love with you." A ripple of laughter spreads across the room. He's twisting the knife deeper. Every cell in Leela's body screams to flee, but her legs are glued in place. The lights form a shimmering cage around her, trapping her. Her vision blurs. Her breath shakes. Then she spots Adrian's mother, Mrs. Rowan, the woman who once welcomed Leela like family and discarded her the moment Adrian decided she no longer fit his perfect image. Mrs. Rowan's sharp stare cuts through her like glass. "Stay silent. Know your place." Leela's chest trembles until something inside her hardens into steel. If they want a performance, she'll give them one. She inhales slowly, steadying herself. Her fingers tighten around the microphone. The musicians wait for her cue. Her voice, when it finally comes, is soft, fragile, cracked at the edges. But it echoes. The first line of the song is not one Adrian expects. It's not one he rehearsed with her. It's the song she wrote alone, heartbroken, on the night he walked out of their home and abandoned her and the unborn child. The melody twists through the air, rippling through the stunned silence. The whispers stop. Camilla's smile fades. Adrian's eyebrows pull together. Leela keeps going, her voice trembling but real, raw and wounded, and then slowly strengthening. Each lyric feels carved from the shattered pieces of her heart. Guests lean forward in their seats. The hall is listening, but Leela is lost in the memories that claw at her chest. She sees the night Adrian came home late, smelling like Camilla's perfume. She remembers him pulling away from her belly when the baby first kicked. She hears the argument, the slammed door, his suitcase rolling away. Every broken moment pours into the song. It becomes a confession and a reckoning, one Adrian never saw coming. The audience shifts uncomfortably. The lyrics are about betrayal. It's unmistakable. Camilla stiffens, fingers tightening around her bouquet. Adrian's jaw clenches beneath his forced smile. Leela's voice rises into a higher note, a note she thought pregnancy had stolen from her, and the hall vibrates with it. Tears burn behind her eyes, but she refuses to let them fall. Not in front of them. Her free hand returns to her stomach, resting there purposefully. The baby kicks again, like a tiny heartbeat echoing the truth. Camilla notices. Adrian notices. Everyone notices. The tension thickens. The song moves into the final lines, the ones she never meant for anyone to hear, the ones that reveal everything. You loved control more than you loved me. Adrian stiffens. And she wears the crown you built from my bones. Gasps ripple around the hall. But stories don't end just because you walk away. The musicians falter in shock. Leela holds the final note, letting it slice through the silence like a blade. When she lowers the microphone, the ballroom goes still. Adrian stands abruptly, face pale, eyes flickering with panic. Camilla grabs his arm. Adrian, what is she doing? Mrs. Rowan rises with hatred blazing in her eyes. The guests stare at Leela like she just detonated a bomb. Then, a sharp pain stabs through her stomach. Deep. Wrong. Leela gasps, hand flying to her belly. The room smears into streaks of gold and white. Another contraction, violent, sudden, terrifying. Adrian's face drains of color. Camilla's jaw drops. Mrs. Rowan steps forward. What's happening? Leela tries to breathe. Can't. Tries to speak. Can't. Warm fluid trickles down her leg. No. No, no, no. Not here. A scream erupts somewhere in the crowd. The microphone clatters to the floor as Leela drops to her knees. The light chandelier blurs into halos. More voices, more footsteps, chaos. Adrian shouts, distant, trembling, Leela! Leela, look at me! Her eyes flutter. Everything darkens. This isn't normal. This isn't just stress. This is something else. Something deliberate. Her fingers slip across the polished floor as she collapses. Right before her vision fades completely, one last thought pierces her mind. Someone did this to me. Darkness pulls her under like a tide. Voices swirl above her, muffled, frantic, overlapping, but she can't grasp a single word. Her body feels weightless, floating somewhere between consciousness and oblivion. Then, a sharp beeping noise slices through the fog. The smell of antiseptic burns her nose. Her eyelids flutter. A white ceiling swims into view, blurry around the edges. Soft fluorescent light hums above her. Her throat aches, her chest tight, her stomach sore and heavy. She's in a hospital bed. But how long has she been here? A shadow moves at her bedside. Lila? Can you hear me? The voice is gentle, steady, not Adrian's. A young nurse leans over her, worry etched across her face. Her badge reads, Nurse Alara. Lila's lips part, but no sound comes out. Don't rush, Alara says softly. You're safe now. Just breathe. Safe. The word ripples through Lila uneasily, because nothing feels safe. Her fingers twitch, drifting slowly toward her belly. A wave of pure terror floods her. Her baby. Before she can even form the question, someone else bursts into the room. Adrian. But not the polished, arrogant man from the wedding. This Adrian is flushed, frantic, unshaven. His tie is gone, his shirt rumpled, his hair messy as if he's been tearing at it. He stops at the foot of her bed, chest heaving. Lila, Thank God. You're awake. She tenses immediately, pulse spiking. Nurse Alara steps between them like a shield. You need to stay calm, she warns him. But Adrian's eyes are locked on Lila with the mixture she can't decipher. Fear, anger, confusion. She forces her voice out, weak and cracked. The baby? Adrian swallows hard. The baby is okay. They stopped the contractions. You and the baby are both stable now. Lila closes her eyes as relief crashes into her, shaking her chest. Tears slide down her temples. But the relief is quickly swallowed by something darker. Because none of this should have happened. Not the stage, not the pain, not the collapse. Nurse Alara adjusts Lila's IV, trying to give her space. She needs rest, she says firmly. You can talk for a few minutes, then you need to leave. Adrian nods, rubbing his face. Lila opens her eyes, her voice barely above a whisper. What happened? Adrian shifts, avoids her gaze. That's what we're trying to figure out. A cold shiver crawls down her spine. What do you mean? Adrian takes a shaky breath. The doctor said your symptoms didn't look like normal stress or normal pregnancy complications. Lila frowns, confused and afraid. Then what? They think you were exposed to something. Her heart drops. Something. She whispers. Like what? He hesitates. And that hesitation tells her everything she needs to know. He's hiding something. Nurse Alara glances between them, uneasy. The air in the room tightens. Adrian finally forces the words out. They found traces of a medication in your system, something that can induce contractions. Lila's stomach twists violently. Her breath freezes. No, I didn't take anything. I wouldn't. I know, Adrian says quickly. I know you didn't. His voice breaks, but she doesn't trust it. Not yet. Because he lied before. He betrayed her before. And he humiliated her on his wedding day. She pushes herself slightly upright, wincing. Someone did this to me, she says, the words trembling, but undeniable. Adrian's jaw tightens. He looks away, and that look hits her like ice water. He knew. He knew this was possible. Who was near you before the song? Adrian asks, trying to piece things together. Who handed you anything? Who touched you? Lila tries to remember. She sees flashes. A bridesmaid handing her a bottle of water. Camilla smirking from her chair. Mrs. Rowan watching her like a hawk. A waitress brushing past her with a tray. Hands on her arm guiding her to the stage. Everything blurs. I don't know, she whispers. There were too many people. Adrian runs a hand through his hair, cursing under his breath. We need to figure it out. Someone wanted you to... He can't finish the sentence. Nurse Alara steps closer. She shouldn't be talking about stressful situations yet. But Lila barely hears her. Her mind is spinning. Someone drugged her. At Adrian's wedding. And they wanted something permanent. Before she can ask another question, a sharp knock hits the door. It opens before anyone can answer. Camilla strides in. Stunning. Elegant. Venomous. Her wedding gown is gone. Now she wears a sleek cream dress, but her eyes are full of fire. Oh, she says, her voice soaked in irritation. She's awake. Lila stiffens. Adrian freezes. Nurse Alara looks uncomfortable. Camilla crosses her arms. Adrian, you need to come outside. Your mother is losing it. She says Lila ruined the entire wedding. Adrian shoots her a warning glare. Camilla, not now. Camilla's eyes narrow. Yes, now. She glances at Lila with a cold, sharp disdain. I just want to make sure she understands something. She steps closer. Nurse Alara blocks her path. This is a patient's room. You can't. I'm his wife, Camilla snaps. Those words slice through Lila like knives. Camilla leans slightly to the side, gaze locked on Lila. You will not use this incident to make Adrian feel guilty. Do you understand me? Whatever episode you had will not interfere with our life. Adrian steps between them immediately. Camilla, stop. Camilla scoffs. You're defending her after the stunt she pulled? Lila's voice trembles. What stunt? Camilla glares at her. That pathetic song, that performance. You humiliated us. Lila's heartbeat spikes. Adrian's jaw tightens. Camilla, this isn't about a song. She collapsed. She could have. Camilla snaps. It looked dramatic enough to be fake. Adrian recoils. Lila faced something ice-cold settle in her chest. Camilla continues, dark eyes burning into her. You will not use this incident to make Adrian feel guilty. Lila opens her mouth to respond, but a voice comes from behind Camilla before she can speak. Sharp, cold, deadly calm. That's enough. They turn. Mrs. Rowan appears in the doorway, face pale, eyes unreadable. She steps into the room slowly, holding something in her hand, a small bottle. Lila's breath stops. Adrian stares at it. Mom, what is that? Mrs. Rowan's lips tighten. She looks at Lila, then at her pregnant belly, then back at Adrian. This, she says softly, this was found in the bridal dressing room. Camilla's face drains of all color. The room freezes, and Lila suddenly knows. Whatever is in that bottle, it's connected to her collapse. For a moment, no one breathes. The tiny bottle in Mrs. Rowan's hand gleams under the fluorescent light, innocent in size, lethal in implication. Its label is half scratched off, but the contents inside swirl faintly, in a natural, cloudy tint. Lila's pulse stutters. Adrian's eyes darken with panic. Camilla steps back as if the bottle is a live grenade. Nurse Ilara watches cautiously, her grip tightening around Lila's chart. Mrs. Rowan lifts her gaze, cold, sharp, slicing through the room. This was found under a pile of makeup wipes in the bridal dressing room, she says. Right where you were getting ready, Camilla. Camilla's breath catches. What? That's not mine. Mrs. Rowan raises a brow. It has traces of the same substance they found in Lila's bloodstream. The world tilts. Lila grips the bed sheets, knuckles white. Adrian takes a slow step forward. Mom, are you saying Camilla? I'm not saying anything yet, Mrs. Rowan snaps, but the timing is suspicious. Camilla's voice trembles. I don't know what that is. I didn't touch any medication. Why would I? Her voice falters as she glances nervously toward Lila. A beat, a flicker. Something like fear or guilt crosses her face, and Lila sees it. Adrian sees it. Mrs. Rowan definitely sees it. Nurse Elara quietly slips toward the door, probably preparing to call hospital security. Camilla's breath grows ragged. I would never hurt a baby, even her baby. Mrs. Rowan folds her arms slowly. Your tone suggests otherwise. Adrian turns to his wife, his voice strained. Camilla, just tell us the truth. Camilla shakes her head frantically. I didn't do anything. But she can't meet his eyes. Lila watches her closely. Looks can deceive, but patterns don't. And Camila has hated her since the moment Adrian left her for the glittering, polished new woman. Lila swallows hard. Her voice is quiet, raw. You handed me water before I went on stage. Camilla flinches. 1 heartbeat. 2. Adrian's breathing stills. Yes, but it was just water. Mrs. Rowan's brows rise. And why didn't you mention that earlier? Camilla opens her mouth, closes it, opens it again. She's unraveling. Tears form in her eyes. Because I knew how it would look. How it does look, Mrs. Rowan corrects sharply. Adrian steps away from Camilla as if her touch might burn him. You gave her water? You were alone with her backstage, and now a bottle with the same drug she was exposed to shows up in your dressing room? Camilla looks between them all, desperate. Adrian, you know me. You know I wouldn't. But she ruined the wedding. This must be some setup. Lila's chest tightens. She nearly died. My child nearly died. His shout echoes through the hospital room. Camilla recoils, stunned. But then something inside her shifts, sharply. Her tears dry, her posture straightens, and a chilling calm washes over her. She looks at Lila with a new expression, dark, calculating. I see what this is, Camilla said slowly. You're trying to get him back. Lila's stomach drops. This is ridiculous, she whispers. No, it's obvious. You embarrass us at the wedding, then pretend to collapse, and now there's a convenient little bottle that makes you the victim again. Mrs. Rowan's eyes widen, offended. Are you calling my son's unborn child a prop for attention? Camilla's mouth snaps shut. Too late. Adrian stares at her as if he's seeing her for the first time. You're not helping yourself, he says quietly. Camilla's voice rises. I saved you. I saved you from her. Do you understand that? Before she trapped you with the baby, she never sang. She never fought back. She never... The room goes silent. Lila's heart stops. Nurse Lara gasps softly. Adrian's face drains of color. Mrs. Rowan steps forward. Camilla, what did you just say? Camilla realizes too late she said something she cannot take back. Her voice breaks into a whisper. I didn't mean trapped like that. But the damage is done. Adrian's world fractures. You knew? He says quietly, trembling. You knew she was pregnant? And you didn't tell me? Camilla's eyes widen. Adrian, Did you try to make her miscarry? His voice isn't a shout now. It's a whisper. A deadly one. Camilla's mouth opens, but no sound comes out. Mrs. Rowan looks sick, horrified, torn between protecting her son and shielding her reputation. For the first time in years, the room is on Lila's side. Adrian turns toward Lila, his voice softer. Lila, please, I swear, I didn't know. I would have. But Lila shakes her head. The memories crash over her. The nights he ignored her, the arguments, the suitcase roaming away. his cold voice telling her Camila made her feel alive again. And suddenly, his apology feels like a knife twisting deeper. Before Lila can respond, the hospital monitor begins beeping faster. Nursey Laura rushes forward. Her blood pressure is spiking. Everyone needs to step back. But Adrian takes a step toward Lila anyway. Lila, please let me explain. Explain what? Explain that you left me alone and pregnant? That you shoved a microphone in my hand to humiliate me in front of Camilla and your mother? That you... Her breath stumbles. Her chest tightens again. Nursey Laura snaps. She needs calm, not chaos. Out. Mrs. Rowan nods and grabs Adrian's arm. Come on, let the doctors handle this. But before they can exit, a voice cuts through the hallway outside. Sharp, cold, unfamiliar. Mrs. Rowan? Sir, we need to speak with all of you immediately. Nursey Laura opens the door a crack. A police officer stands there. 2, actually. Their badges glint, their expressions serious. Adrian stiffens. Camilla's face goes white. Mrs. Rowan brings a trembling hand to her mouth. The officer's voice is calm, measured, and terrifying. We've reviewed security footage from the venue. There's something you need to see. He steps forward. And it concerns the moment before Lila collapsed. Every face in the room drains of color. Another officer looks directly at Camilla. We need you to come with us now. Camilla sways, grabbing the wall. Why? I didn't... But the officer cuts her off. We found footage of someone entering the backstage area, tampering with Lila's drink. The room freezes. Lila's breath catches. Adrian's jaw clenches. Mrs. Rowan gasps. But then the officer says the last sentence, and the world stops. It wasn't Camilla. Lila's heartbeat falters. The officer looks slowly around the room, his eyes landing on someone no one suspected. Someone standing closest to Lila. Someone who's been quiet, controlled, emotionless. It was you, the officer says. Every head turns, and Lila's blood runs cold as the officer points back, Mrs. Rowan. The hospital room feels smaller than ever. The air is thick, heavy, and impossible to breathe. Lila's heartbeat pounds in her ears like a drum of warning. Mrs. Rowan stands frozen, the small bottle still in her hand. Her eyes dart between Lila, Adrian, and Camila. The accusation of tampering lingers in the room, yet no one speaks. Every second stretches unbearably long, and the silence presses on Lila like a physical weight. Camilla glares at Mrs. Rowan. Her lips are pale, trembling. How could you even suggest I did this? Mrs. Rowan doesn't respond. Instead, she glances at Adrian, who looks torn in the center of the storm. Lila can feel the tension radiating from him. He wants to protect someone, maybe both, but he's paralyzed, unable to speak. Then, the door bursts open. 2 police officers step in, badges gleaming, eyes cold and professional. Their presence electrifies the room. We need everyone to remain calm, one says, voice clipped. This concerns the recent incident with Miss Lila Ashford. Lila's stomach twists. Ashford. They even use her name like a target. The officer continues, glancing at each person. Security footage and eyewitness reports confirm someone entered the bridal preparation area minutes before Miss Ashford collapsed. Tampering with a drink was observed. All eyes snap towards Camilla. She stiffens, every muscle rigid with denial. It wasn't me, she says, almost too quickly. I didn't. The officer interrupts, calm but lethal. The footage clearly shows someone matching your description. However, he hesitates, his gaze drifting towards Mrs. Rowan. It also shows someone else handing the drink to Miss Ashford just before the collapse. The room freezes. Leela's chest tightens. The breath she's been holding escapes in a sharp exhale. Leela gasps, clutching her stomach. Camilla stumbles forward, her face drained of all color. "Call a doctor." Leela's eyes lock on Adrian. Despite his fear, he's moving toward her, hands shaking, his presence the only anchor in the chaos. Mrs. Rowan finally speaks, voice trembling but urgent. It was supposed to stop her from being forced into humiliation, to prevent Adrian from being hurt by Camila. "I never meant to harm the baby." Leela's mind reels. The bottle, the collapse, Adrian's wedding, Mrs. Rowan's silent schemes. All the pieces of betrayal are suddenly moving like a sinister puzzle. The officers step back, stunned. The reality of what happened begins to sink in. Leela's breathing is ragged. She leans back against the bed, staring at Mrs. Rowan. You tried to protect him by hurting me?" Mrs. Rowan nods miserably. "I didn't know it would go this far. I didn't want anyone to be embarrassed, to ruin the wedding, but..." Leela feels a wave of fury she's never known. The humiliation, the pain, the betrayal, it all converges into a single, scorching clarity. Her hand moves instinctively to her belly. The baby kicks sharply, as if sensing the storm in her veins. Adrian kneels beside her, grabbing her hand. His voice is tight, raw with guilt and fear. "Leela, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." She looks at him, the betrayal from their past colliding with this new one. Her chest aches, not just from pain, but from the anger and confusion twisting through her. Then Camilla steps forward, eyes blazing. "You think this proves anything? None of you realize the wedding was just the beginning. Adrian belongs to me now. And you?" She falters, sensing the shift in energy, the unity forming between mother, daughter, and truth. Suddenly, the lights flicker. The door to the room bursts open again. Another police officer rushes in. He's holding a small memory card. This was recovered from the security cameras in the hall. It shows exactly who added the substance to Miss Ashford's drink. The officers project the footage onto a nearby screen. Time slows as every eye follows. Leela watches herself, fragile and trembling, reaching for the water bottle. Then the figure who places it in her hand. Her eyes widen, her stomach knots. It isn't Camilla. It isn't Mrs. Rowan. It's someone standing in plain sight the entire time. Someone Leela never suspected. A chill ripples through the room. Adrian's face drains. Camilla freezes. Mrs. Rowan gasps audibly. Leela's heart hammers against her ribs. The screen pauses, and in that frozen frame, the face is unmistakable. It's Nurse Alara. Leela's breath catches in her throat. The woman who had been calm, professional, her guardian in the hospital, is revealed as the one who nearly destroyed her. The realization slices through her chest like a knife. "Why?" Leela whispers, voice breaking. The room is silent, all eyes on Alara. The nurse's lips curl faintly, but there's no regret, only an unsettling, quiet satisfaction. The camera zooms on her calm, almost smug expression. The one person Leela had trusted completely is the orchestrator of her near tragedy. Adrian grabs Leela's hand, white-knuckled, whispering, "We're going to fix this, I promise." But deep inside, Leela knows the true battle is just beginning. The storm is far from over. And as the screen flickers, revealing more of the footage, a single, terrifying thought takes hold. If Alara was capable of this, what else has she planned? The hospital room feels like a battlefield. Every eye is on Nurse Alara, who now stands exposed, calm but dangerous. Her professional mask has shattered, revealing something far colder than Leela ever imagined. Leela's heart pounds, her body aches. Every muscle is taut with fear and anger. She grips her pregnant belly, feeling the tiny, frantic kicks of her child, the one who survived Alara's scheme. That small life is her anchor. Adrian leans over, holding her hand tightly. His blue eyes, usually so composed, are wide with panic. "We can't let her get away with this," he says. "We have evidence." Alara tilts her head, lips curving into a faint, cruel smile. "Evidence? Do you really think these little images prove anything? You have no idea what I'm capable of." Leela swallows her fear. "You tried to hurt me. My baby. For what? Who were you protecting?" Alara's eyes flash, revealing her obsession. "I protect perfection. I protect those who matter. I made sure no one ruined what should have been flawless, even if it meant removing obstacles." Her words hang like ice in the room. Leela's stomach twists. The magnitude of what Alara tried to do sinks in. This wasn't just cruelty. It was calculated, meticulous, premeditated. Adrian steps forward, furious. "You monster. You almost destroyed everything. My family, her life, my child." Alara shrugs lightly, unnervingly calm. "You don't get it, Adrian. This world, it's built on control. You, your mother, your fiancé, everyone, they all want the illusion of perfection. I simply ensured it." Camilla, still reeling from the chaos, mutters, You're insane." The words hit her like a badge of honor. She smiles wider. "Insane? Maybe, but effective." Leela pushes herself slightly upright in her hospital bed, voice trembling but firm. "Effective? You call attempting to harm a pregnant woman effective?" The room goes silent. Even the police officers tense, unsure of how to respond to her chilling calm. Then, with sudden resolve, Leela speaks again. "I trusted you. I thought you were helping me after I collapsed. But you were the threat the whole time." Alara tilts her head, studying her. "And yet here you are, alive. Your baby is alive. I failed, didn't I?" Leela's hands shake, but her gaze sharpens. "You underestimated me. You thought fear would control me. But I've survived worse than you, and I won't let you touch my life or my child again." Suddenly, Adrian steps forward, holding his phone. "We have every camera angle, every timestamp. Alara, it's over. You'll be arrested. And this time, there's no way to twist the truth." Alara's face hardens. "You think this stops me? People like me? We never truly disappear. I'll be back, stronger." Leela exhales sharply, feeling both dread and determination. She presses her hand to her belly, feeling the life inside her. "I survived this. We survived this. No one will threaten us again." The police move forward. Alara raises her hand slightly, but her defiance hasn't faltered. She locks eyes with Leela one last time. "This isn't the end," she whispers. And for a moment, the room feels suspended, like the air itself is holding its breath. Then, officers guide Alara out, the door slamming behind her. Silence descends. Leela slumps back against the pillows, exhausted, tears streaming freely. Adrian kneels beside her, holding her hand and brushing her damp hair from her forehead. "You're safe now," he murmurs, voice trembling. "We're safe." Leela shakes her head. "Not yet, but we'll be okay. Because we survived her. We survived her game." Camilla, surprisingly subdued, watches from the side. Even she seems shaken. Mrs. Rowan, pale and silent, finally breaks her mask of control, tears glimmering in her eyes. Hours later, as Leela rests, Adrian stays close, silent but protective. The baby kicks again, a small, reassuring rhythm against the chaos that had nearly torn them apart. Leela closes her eyes, letting the exhaustion wash over her. In that quiet, fleeting moment, she allows herself a spark of hope. They had survived betrayal, humiliation, and near tragedy, and they were stronger because of it. But somewhere deep in her mind, Leela knows Alara's words were true in one terrifying sense. People like her don't disappear. And though this chapter had closed, another storm was inevitable. The camera pans to the window, the city lights twinkling innocently, a stark contrast to the chaos inside. Somewhere out there, Alara plots her return, patient, calculating. Leela's lips curl into a faint smile, not fear, not anger, determination. This isn't over, she whispers to herself. Not by a long shot. And the screen fades to black.